Part 1. General Zhongli's Clever Plan. A Midnight Ambush. Let's pick up the story from last time. That day the Han General Zhongli had clashed fiercely with the barbarian commander Bu Yu. Swords clanged, spears flashed, sparks flew everywhere. When the fighting finally ceased and the troops returned to camp, Zhongli counted his men. Oh no, quite a few brothers were wounded. He immediately ordered the military doctors to treat them with care. Back in the command tent, Zhongli sat stroking his beard, deep in thought. That barbarian Bu Yu is no ordinary brute. The way he swung that broadsword like a windmill in a storm. The guy's got arms strong enough to uproot a willow tree. If we go head-to-head again tomorrow, we might lose everything. No, I need a smarter way to beat him, something cunning. A trap. Once his plan took shape, Zhongli wasted no time. He summoned his guards. Listen to my orders. Select 20,000 light cavalry. Make them clamp wooden bits in their horses' mouths and have the men stay absolutely silent. Send them out in secret to hide in ambush in the east, west, south, and north. He raised a finger. Remember, once you hear a series of boom, 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 just like New Year's firecrackers, that's your signal. No matter where you're hiding, leap out and charge with everything you've got. The target is one and only capture that barbarian General Bu Yu alive. Move fast, strike hard, and hit him so suddenly he won't even know what direction he's facing. With the ambush arranged, Zhongli issued the next set of orders. All troops, hear this? At third watch, prepare the rations. At fifth watch, line up and get into formation. As soon as daylight breaks, we meet the enemy head-on. Then he gave one last secret task. You lot keep your eyes sharp. The moment you see the enemy falter or retreat, don't chase them. Your job is to seize their supplies, their food, weapons, and equipment. That's silver in our pockets and grain in our stores. Take what you can, that's your reward. Zhongli's orders were airtight step by step, not a single move wasted. The officers saluted and got to work, quietly slipping into action under the cover of night. We'll leave the Han camp there for now and turn our gaze to the other side back to the barbarian General Bu Yu. Part 2. Bu Yu lays a trap, determined to capture Zhongli. Bu Yu, too, had returned to his tent after the battle. He counted his own men. Yikes! A good number had fallen. Stroking his bushy beard, his heart was uneasy. That Zhongli, his spear work is ruthless. Can't keep fighting him like this. It's not a long-term game. Wait. I've got it. A wicked grin spread across his face. Tomorrow, no more one-on-one fights. We fight with strategy. I'll set up the most mysterious formation this world has ever seen. If he dares charge in, he'll be like a fish in a net, and I'll catch him alive. Once we have Zhongli, the Han army will crumble. Then those cities and counties, taking them will be as easy as slicing tofu. Delighted by his own brilliance, Bu Yu barked orders. Men, prepare rations by the third watch. Eat and drink your fill by the fourth. At fifth watch, we march out to set the trap. At dawn the next day, Bu Yu donned his full armor, climbed onto his mighty war horse, and gripped his terrifying broadsword, so wide it looked like a door. In his other hand, he waved a crimson command flag like a giant baton, pacing proudly at the front lines. He chose to set up his formation just west of the Kushui River, waiting for the Han forces to approach. And let me tell you, that formation was no joke. Layer upon layer, gates within gates, just like a fortress of iron walls. Rumor had it Bu Yu arranged it using ancient secrets based on the elements and the balance of yin and yang. Hidden within were deadly traps no mortal could see. From afar, the flags fluttered. The atmosphere was thick with killing intent, and the entire battlefield gave off a strange, sinister vibe. Part 3. Zhongli spots the trap, a master's countermove. At sunrise, the Han army lined up outside the enemy formation. Zhongli raised his eyes from horseback and gasped. By the heavens! I thought that barbarian was just some brute with a big sword, but turns out the man's got brains. This formation is like a steel cage airtight. Now what? But Zhongli was a seasoned general. He didn't panic. He hurried up to the observation platform, shaded his eyes, and studied the enemy's layout over and over. Slowly, his brow relaxed. A sly smile crept onto his face. Aha! So that's it. It's the 8 trigrams formation. That rascal wants me to charge in so he can trap me inside? Hey, not today. Let's see how you like being outfoxed. He called out, General Feng Ji. Get up here, quick. Feng Ji, a clever young officer, rushed up. Zhongli pointed at the enemy formation. Tell me, Feng Ji, recognize this setup? Feng Ji scratched his head, a bit embarrassed. Apologies, my lord. I don't. Zhongli chuckled. No matter. This is the famous 8 trigrams formation. It contains 8 entrances: rest, life, harm, obstruction, illusion, death, fright, and open. Among them, only the life gate and open gate lead to safety. Enter the wrong one, and you're as good as dead. Feng Ji, I want you to take 2,000 elite riders. Look at that green flag in the southeast corner that marks the life gate. You charge in there. Don't get bogged down, just fight your way through to the black flag in the northeast. Exit from there. Then turn around and attack again, northeast in, southeast out. He gave a sharp look. This back and forth will scramble their formation like a stirred-up beehive. Once they're in chaos, I'll lead the main army to strike hard from behind like beating a master with a stick. Total victory. Feng Ji, this move is key. Remember it well: southeast in, northeast out, then northeast in, southeast out. One wrong step and it all falls apart. Got it? Feng Ji clasped his fists. Yes, sir. He stared hard at the flags and layout, memorizing every detail. Then he dashed down from the platform, leapt onto his horse, and led 2,000 riders straight toward the green flag. Part 4. Feng Ji strikes, the barbarian army falls. And what a charge it was! Feng Ji's 2,000 cavalry surged like tigers pouncing, like wolves on the hunt boom. They smashed right through the life gate in the southeast. The barbarian soldiers had never seen such a fearless attack. They couldn't hold the line. Feng Ji led the charge, blade flashing, carving a path through the formation as easily as strolling through his own backyard. Following Zhongli's orders, he broke out at the northeast corner by the black flag, whinnying horses, slashing blades unstoppable. But he wasn't done yet. Feng Ji spun his horse around and roared, Brothers, follow me, let's tear through them again. With a thunderous cheer, the cavalry charged once more from northeast in. back toward the southeast. Now the barbarians were in total disarray. What are these Han soldiers' moles, burrowing in and out like that? The 8 trigrams formation fell apart. Flags were mixed up, commands lost, soldiers separated from their officers, just like an anthill stomped on by a naughty child. Utter chaos. Feng Ji saw the enemy in shambles and shouted, "Brothers, the general's plan is brilliant. This is our moment. Make your names today. Charge." The sound of his voice was like thunder across the field. The cavalry roared, their blood boiling, storming the formation with a force that shook the earth. From the high platform, Zhongli saw the enemy flags toppling and troops scattering like headless chickens. He knew the moment had come. With a swift motion, he drew his sword and pointed forward. "All troops charge. Slaughter them." Boom, 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 boom. Boom. A thunderous rhythm burst forth the signal. From all directions, 20,000 hidden Han cavalry burst out like divine warriors descending from the skies. Charge. Catch Buyu alive. Their war cries shook the heavens. The barbarian troops were instantly surrounded, trapped like dumplings in a pot. The battlefield became a storm of blood and steel. The barbarian soldiers cried for their lives, running as if their feet were on fire. Bodies fell everywhere. Rivers turned red. It was utter destruction. Bayu's heart trembled. "Oh no, it's a trap." He tossed away his red command flag and ran for his life. No more pride, no more strategy, just escape. He didn't even bother saving his food or gear, just grabbed a few guards and hacked his way out, disappearing without a glance back. Meanwhile, the Han army, spirits soaring, pursued the enemy for over 20 miles. Then, beating their victory drums and singing songs of triumph, they returned to camp. They didn't just defeat the enemy, they seized carts of food, weapons, and armor. What a fortune! Back in camp, Marshal Zhongli hosted a grand feast, slaughtered pigs, poured wine, meat, and laughter filling the air until late into the night. As for where that panicked General Buyu fled to, well, that's a tale for next time. Zhongli breaks the formation with brilliance, Feng Ji storms the field with thunder. Part 5. Buyu regroups in panic, Zhongli presses the advantage. Let's talk now about General Buyu, who had just escaped by the skin of his teeth. He galloped day and night, his armor in tatters, his face covered in dust. Behind him, a few battered guards trailed along, all breathing like bellows. They finally stopped at a small hill far from the battlefield. Buyu threw down his sword and collapsed onto the ground. Phew, that Zhongli? He's not just a brute with a title, he's a cunning devil. I set a trap for him, and he flipped it on me. Nearly got me killed. He wiped his sweaty face, eyes full of rage. This isn't over. I'll gather the rest of the troops, regroup, and find a way to turn this around. But when he looked back, oh no, the soldiers that escaped with him? No more than a few dozen. The rest had either fallen or scattered. Buyu slammed his fist on the ground. Cursed be that Feng Ji. That little rat barged in and out like he owned the place. And Zhongli, setting up that ambush like thunder from the sky. Just then, one of his lieutenants stepped forward, blood still dripping from a shoulder wound. "General, we can't win like this. We've lost too many. We need to retreat further, regroup with the reserve forces in the west. If we stay here, we'll get wiped out." Buyu bit his lip so hard it bled. He didn't want to admit defeat, but right now, survival came first. Fine, pass the word, burn anything we can't carry. We retreat under the cover of night. Meanwhile, back at the Han camp, morale was sky high. General Zhongli had just finished awarding medals and gifts to his officers and troops. The camp was lively with music and cheering, meat roasting over fires, wine flowing like rivers. But Zhongli himself sat in a quiet side tent, calmly studying a map. "Liu's not dead," he muttered, "and a cornered beast can be the most dangerous. We've bloodied his nose, but if we let him slip away and regroup, this war could drag on longer than it should." He called in his scout captain. "Take your best men. I want eyes everywhere. If Buyu so much as sneezes, I want to know what color his handkerchief is." The scout captain bowed. "Yes, sir." Just then Feng Ji strode in, still in armor, his face glowing with pride and energy. "Marshal, today's victory, huh? I'll remember this for the rest of my life." Zhongli smiled and poured him a drink. "You did well, Feng Ji. Your charge was the turning point. Without that, we wouldn't be sitting here toasting." Feng Ji raised his cup. "To the marshal's wisdom." The two clinked cups and drank deep. But even as laughter echoed outside the tent, Zhongli's gaze grew distant. He could feel that this war wasn't over. Not yet. Buyu escapes, licking his wounds. Zhongli, ever watchful, prepares for the next move. Wah,